Alright. I'm Ferdinand Rule. How you doing? Also known as Charles Eccles, blah blah blah. Alright, so this is in the newspaper the other day. This part really caught my eye. It was in the Register Guard, Lane County. Look it up. Anyways, Hagel's comments came as the military finalized plans to expand operations in the vast waters of the Arctic, where melting ice caps are opening sea lanes and giving nations like Russia greater access to the oil and gas deposits. And the U.S. officials estimate the Arctic holds 13% of the world's undiscovered oil reserves and 30% of undiscovered gas deposits. Until recently, however, these areas that could reap hundreds of billions of dollars in revenues were frozen over and unreachable. I want you to stop and just let that sink in for a minute. You can look at the dog if you want to. Frozen over and unreachable. Hundreds of billions of dollars were frozen over and unreachable. Now, I'm not saying this article's about, global warming. Okay, yeah, I am, kind of. It is, however, an interesting thread of thought. I mean, the idea that corporations are actually profiting from global warming, climate change, whatever. The same corporations that own like 80% of the media, 95% if you just watch Fox News. Seriously, dude, the second largest shareholder of Fox News is a prince from Saudi Arabia. Duh. Anyways, the same corporations that sell you crap that distracts you. Oh, hey, look, it's a smartphone. I gotta buy that. Subway restaurants are accepting food stamps. Well, I gotta complain about that. That chick did a really manipulative, evil thing on a reality TV show on the Boob Box, and I gotta tune in next week to see the tears and humiliation of the victim just so I can feel better about myself. And let's not forget, you're not the father. One of those guys in tights, that run into each other for a living, carried a freaking toy for 442 yards. I mean, it's not like the corporations have a business plan to melt the polar ice caps, right? I mean, that would be like evil, right? It wouldn't be like, they would want to melt that so they can actually get access to the oil and gas, right? They wouldn't want to raise the temperature of the planet to melt the polar ice caps to make hundreds of billions of dollars, right? Because that would be evil. Yeah, I'm reading off of this thing. I mean, it's not like the corporations are distracting you with, football, beer, and a black guy in office, right? You understand how perfect that was, putting a black dude in office? Seriously, the presidents they're like puppets. They're not real. They don't actually make any decisions. They get it. Ronald Reagan was an actor, for freaking crying out loud. He was like the best scriptwriter ever. Anyways, alright. It's not like global warming will actually really affect the guys that actually make hundreds of billions of dollars, right? Dude, if the planet gets really hot, they'll sell you air conditioning you can't afford. But they'll tell Fox News to tell you, buy air conditioning and don't complain about it. If the planet gets like superstorms, they can actually afford to buy buildings that can survive hurricanes. You can't. If you have to work 70 hours each as a parent, really, you didn't have to do that like 40 years ago. I mean, seriously, one parent went to work, one parent took care of the children, they still had slaves and stuff, but anyways. If you're too busy to cook a meal for your kids, they'll sell you processed food that blocks a hormone called leptin. Look up high fructose corn syrup. Alright. Leptin is supposed to tell you when you're full If you don't when you're full, you continue to keep eating. Therefore, you keep consuming. For the record, America is 72% fat and like 31.9% obese. So yeah, chances are 1 in 4 of you are skinny. Just saying. They will tell you the teachers union is the leading cause of the recession. You know, knowing that their kids will always get the best schools money can buy. They will literally go to every private school on the planet. Your kids are lucky if they don't have black mold and rats and less than 35 kids when they go to school. But hey, you know, we're fighting terrorists, right? They're going to tell you that collective bargaining rights, you know, unions, that's bad. You know, collective bargaining rights, your ability to actually stand up as a people and tell these guys who have billions of dollars, no, we're not going to do that. That's basically what your union does. It says, no, dude, you can't offer me, like, you know, crap wages and then put me in a fucking tunnel, a frickin' tunnel where I might die without really paying me a lot of money for it. Google it. I mean, seriously, dude. You make, what, 50 grand a year if you're lucky? These guys make billions. Alright. Now to get back on schools. They're going to tell you that schools and teachers, those are the bad guys. You know, it's because we have to give them money that the recession happened. Dude, uneducated people follow educated people. If you're dumb, you follow smart people. Just ask anybody who watches Fox News. I mean, seriously. Have you watched Fox News? They will convince you laws like the Patriot Act and Citizens United are hunky-dory for America. Because, you know, government regulation is bad. Oh, sorry, we forgot to buy that $500,000 bit of safety equipment in the Gulf of Mexico to flow with oil. But, you know, regulation is bad. Oh, dude, we forgot to report a leak, and we just poisoned the homes of 300,000 people in one of the Carolinas, north or south, whatever. 300,000 people couldn't drink their water because a corporation didn't go, hey, dude, we got a leak. And the EPA wasn't even allowed to regulate them or check on them since 1991. Dude, seriously, Google. You have the computer. You're watching me on a computer or a phone. Anyways. Your last presidential election cost $2 billion just in advertising. $2 billion. But hey, you know, we're fighting terrorists. Do you know you have a better chance of dying in your bathtub than you do actually by a terrorist? Really. Now, I'm not belittling 9/11. If you think I'm belittling 9/11, you're kind of an idiot. As an American, including 9/11, over the last 30 years, you have a better chance of dying in your bathtub, on the toilet, or being shot by a cop than dying via a terrorist. I don't see them spending $2 billion to protect my bathtub. Sure as I'll see them spending $100 billion, you know, building weapons of mass destruction that we never found in Iraq. I was actually pretty good on part of that one. Alright, to sum this up, there's no lizard people trying to take over the world. There's really no lizard people. The myth of lizard people is based on a TV show called V from the 1980s. Just Google it. And you smoke way more pot than I do if you believe that lizard people are trying to take over the world. Obama's not coming for your guns. Dude, they make billions every time Obama and every time the NRA says Obama's coming for your guns. Do you realize that every time the NRA says Obama's trying to take your guns, you dumbasses run out and buy ammo and guns? For the last 5 years, weapons manufacturers have reported record profits. Because A, we're shooting shit all the time, and B, Obama's coming for your guns. We got to stock up with money ammo. Oh, and then they told you that, well, you know, we can't sell the ammo. There's not enough stock and supply. Dude, Walmart didn't have enough ammo because you dumbasses kept buying it all the time. And they really told you, well, you know, they're withholding ammo for something. And you bought it. Dude, you bought all the ammo. Walmart couldn't hold stock. This is Walmart. If they had the stock, they would sell it to you. Alright. Alright. You also understand that every time that they say that, oh, there's a cop coming for you, or you're going to sprint out and hide. Sorry, I went off script there for a minute. Alright, let me go back to this thing. Alright. Now, here's the really fun part. They took away your ability to defend yourself, except for Florida. Florida's got, you know... You realize that if you actually shoot somebody outside of your property, and you can't prove you were defending yourself, you're gonna go to jail. Hey, thanks, dog. Good shot. Alright, so I'm pretty stoned, so let's just move on to the next bit. Alright, so yeah, they want you to spend money every time you panic. I mean, seriously, you guys built bunkers when they told you Y2K was going to happen. You dumbasses actually believed the world was going to end because some guy that believes in magic and fairy tales said, hey, the numbers say it's going to happen. Yeah, alright. They ask you to take surveys, polls, questionnaires, and to join the coupon club for a reason. They know what you think, and they know why you think it. Dude, they've been paying money, hundreds of millions of dollars, just to figure out how you think, because they make hundreds of billions of dollars knowing how you think. Dude, do you think you get to use Facebook for free for a reason? Apparently, the average American only has about a 12-minute attention span, and I kind of went 30 seconds over, so I'm going to try to shut this down. Let me just sum it up real quick. If you think they could, do you actually believe they could melt the polar ice caps and make a profit? They wouldn't go out there and actually raise the planet temperature by 1 or 2 degrees? Because, seriously, they can now actually get to 15% of the world's oil and 30% of our natural gas reserves, because we melted about 300 feet of ice. Just saying.